Okay, right, we shall start, everybody. So welcome, firstly, to our virtual open event for motor vehicle. It's great that you could all join us. As you can see from this slide, if you've got any questions throughout the evening, please put them in the Q&A box. And we'll answer those questions towards the end of the evening live. And if you've got any technical issues, please ensure you put them in the chat box. So just use the Q&A for questions for our lecturers and staff, and the chat box for any technical issues. The evening is going to be recorded, so if you miss anything or you join late, you'll be able to watch this again on our website, and you will get sent a link to the webinar into your inbox, as long as you've obviously ticked the box to say we can contact you. So thank you and welcome. Okay, so as I say, this is our virtual open event for motor vehicle, and my name's Jo Chappell and I'm the head of learning for the area. And this evening we're going to show you around our virtual college, and it's my pleasure to welcome you, even though it's only a virtual event. And I'd like to say that we're really proud that we managed to get outstanding in our earlier Ofsted inspection this year. So it's an excellent accolade, and it's a great pleasure that you're here this evening. So welcome, and over the next 35 minutes we're going to give you a brief overview of the course in motor vehicle and fabrication and welding. Going to see some videos of our workshops, and then we're going to have some questions and answers at the end, so feel free to put those in the Q&A box as we go. So I'm going to hand you over to our first area, which is motor vehicle, and to Claire, who's my deputy head of learning. Hi Claire.
Hi Jo, thank you, welcome everybody. As Jo said, I'm the deputy head of motor vehicle fabrication and welding, but I also teach on the motor vehicle programs. So what we're going to do is just take you through a few of our courses and then have the tour. So at motor vehicle, there are different routes of entry into our qualifications. Most of our students will actually come in at level 1, which is intended for people without any prior experience in the industry, a little bit of an interest in cars, and want to actually get that step in to work on the vehicles. To be able to do the level 1, the only real requirements on there is a grade 2 in English and Maths and an interest in working on cars. We also have 2 level 2 qualifications. We have a light vehicle maintenance and repair qualification, which is ideally for people progressing onto from level 1, but is accessible to people that have had a little bit of time in the industry, a little bit of experience, but maybe no formal qualifications. And for that, we would ask for an English or a Maths at grade 4 in GCSE as the minimum requirements. We then do a diploma in motorsport maintenance, which is direct entry. So you don't need any prior experience at all to do this course. You come in, but you must have English and Maths at grade 4 GCSEs, and 2 others, preferably science, again at grade 4 or above. Now, all of the level 1, level 2 courses will teach you the basics of the cars. They will take you through all of the generic units that go with them, the health and safety, the customer care, but also take you through the information on how to fix and maintain the vehicles. Once you have that information and you have a good understanding of the cars, we then look at a level 3 diploma in light vehicle, which is about the diagnostics. So direct entry on this ideally would be for people that have a grade 2 or a few years experience within the industry, but now just want their formal qualifications. On top of this, we deal with apprentices. We run a level 2 and a level 3 apprenticeship program that is in line with all of the garages. We have students that come in from multiple of garages, from main dealers down to smaller industries, and they spend 1 day a week with us, learning the theory behind the cars and some of the practical skills. The rest of the time they're actually out in industry, learning the actual skill and becoming competent mechanics. So there are sorts of courses. So now if we have a look at the careers that are available, we mainly deal in light vehicle and some motorsport, but learning the basics of a car can actually take you through so many different routes. You can work on with the cars, vehicles up to 3.5 tonne. You could specialise on the HGV side and work with our heavy goods vehicles, our coaches, our buses, all of the large transport fleets that are out there. You could specialise in parts, dealing with the parts, the sales and everything that keep all of the industries flowing. You may want to have a look at some body repair, doing some panel beating, doing strip downs and rebuilds of the cars after accidents, doing resprays on cars for people. Or there's motorsport as a possible route, going out to the tracks, dealing in the pits, helping with the race teams with their maintenance and their repair of those cars. Or finally, you could be looking at sales. Not everybody who does mechanics want to be a mechanic, but they want to learn about how to sell the cars and how to actually best inform and advise all of the customers. So that's an idea of some of the examples, some of the careers. So now we're going to go on a workshop tour and we'll take you around and have a virtual look around our workshops. So come on into our workshops here at Crawley College. So we start the tour in our main level 1 workshops. All of our workshops are fully equipped with toolboxes, with ramps, we have chemical parts cleaners, and in this room we have space for 4 cars. All of the cars in here can be changed depending on what the actual requirements are for the course. All of our workshops have their own tyre bays, they have their own equipment, allowing us to actually deal with tyres, wheel changes, balancing as we need to. This is another one of our level 1 workshops, also used for our schools groups. In the corner here you can see one of our tyre bays set up, balancing machine, tyre changing machine, with all the information and the weights needed for the cars. Panning round, we come to our main area in the back here. We've got diagnostics, we've got engine equipment. On the side here, we've got some engine rigs, transmission rigs, and some parts strip downs. These help with actually learning the main components of the car. As we come through, you'll see a couple of rigs that we use for our training purposes. We have specialist rigs in steering suspension, we have rigs in braking systems. As we move through to the central area, you can see here our computer bay. This is where we access technical information, all of our auto data, everything that we need for torque settings, wiring diagrams, everything like that. In here we come to our store. This is where we have the specialist equipment that we need to do all of the jobs. We've got ring compressors, we've got all of our mallets, our hammers, our brushes. We've got diagnostic equipment in here, we've got spare parts. There's a massive range of equipment that we can actually provide for doing the jobs properly within the workshops. As we start to come back round now, we're coming towards our level 2 and our level 3 workshop. This is our more advanced workshops used for higher practical skills, used for diagnostics of the vehicles. We have 2 4-post ramps. We have air conditioning rigs in the workshops for teaching aircon courses. We have running engine rigs for doing diagnostics. We've got exhaust emissions and all of our safety equipment there for the cars. Along the wall we have some diagnostic machines there for specialist communication with the cars, so we can read all our fault codes. And we've got some wheel alignment equipment on the wall for doing 4-wheel steering geometry, making sure that the car handles and steers correctly. All of our workshops have a fully kitted staff toolbox with some specialist equipment within them, so we have everything we need on hand. And each workshop has a minimum of 6 toolboxes for every student. So we've got more than enough tools for 1 box per car. These cover all of the general equipment that we need for the cars. Okay, that really concludes our tour of our workshops. Thank you very much for joining me on the tour of the motor vehicle department. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask them in chat and we will try and get to them at the end of it. What I'm going to do now is hand you over to my colleague, Jonathan Higgins, who's from Welding Fabrication, and he's going to now take you through a little bit of information about that. Over to you, Jono.
Oh, thank you, Claire. Good evening. My name is Jonathan Higgins, lecturer in engineering and senior lecturer in fabrication and welding at Crawley College. I'd like to start this open event by just stating that all fabrication welding qualifications at Crawley College are City and Guilds approved. So whether you are a full or part-time student, level 1, 2 or 3, we offer All students are recognised industrial welding qualification that suits their individual and employer needs. The level 2 diploma units are as follows. There are 3 mandatory units that every student will need to complete, and 4 specialist welding units are covered. Students are taught to MIG, TIG, MMA and oxyacetylene weld to a level 2 standard. Finally is a sheet metal fabrication unit. This unit includes how to fabricate components to a given tolerance using sheet metal forming techniques. Moving on to level 3, yet again, 3 mandatory units that every student will need to complete. These units cover all job knowledge that is required for fabricators and welders to a level 3 standard. In addition to this, 3 specialist welding units are covered. Students are taught to MIG, flux core, TIG, MMA weld to a level 3 standard. A level 3 diploma qualification gives the student the correct competency to work independently within the fabrication and welding industry, and is an internationally recognised qualification. So for instance, if an opportunity arises in Canada, Australia, Bahrain, or anywhere else overseas, you can always feel rest assured that your level 3 City and Guilds diploma will be recognised. From September 2020, the Fabrication and Welding Centre has rolled out the new welding standards for all level 2 and 3 apprentices studying fabrication and welding. The new standards will include a theoretical knowledge test containing generic questions relevant to all welders, a practical oral examination. The practical test will be carried out in accordance with recognised industry standards and will be in the most difficult welding positions for the skill knowledge module selected. And finally, a professional interview, which is designed to do 2 things. Firstly, to further explore the apprentice's knowledge relevant to his/her role, and secondly, to assess if the apprentice's occupational behaviour meets the requirements specified in the apprentice standard. All apprentices, level 2 and 3 qualifications will be TWI certified. As well as the full-time courses, we run evening classes at the Welding Centre on a Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, 6 till 9. The level 1 course is designed for the hobbyist in mind and students with very little or no welding experience at all. The level 1 certificate in welding course covers health and safety and basic welding skills in 4 different modules: manual metal arc welding or stick welding, metal arc gas shielded welding, which is MIG, oxyacetylene welding and cutting, and tungsten arc gas shielded, otherwise known as TIG welding. All of these processes run over a 35-week period. Evening classes also offer a certificate in welding skills level 2. This course is for people working in industry or with a reasonable skill level, or by completing the level 1 course first. This course covers health and safety again, welding skills in 5 different modules, but all welding seams will be positional, vertical and overhead, which is the difference in between level 1 and level 2. Manual metal arc or stick welding again, metal arc gas shielded welding, MIG, oxyacetylene, TIG welding of stainless steel and low carbon steel, and finally TIG welding of aluminium. This course also runs for 35 weeks, with each module running for 12 weeks, with a maximum of 3 modules per academic year. All welding staff are fully certified to BSEN ISO 9606, coded welding qualification in all welding processes. We are affiliated by the Welding Institute as an approved training provider for the training and assessment of coded welders and CSWIP welding inspection qualifications. Now let's see what options and career paths a future in fabrication and welding can offer. Okay, career paths for level 2 fabricator and welders include careers in the armed forces, the RAF, sign writing apprenticeships, architectural and ornamental metalwork, steel safe security projects, staircases, and the manufacturing and welding of structural steel sections. Stainless steel fabrications involve pharmaceutical vessels, catering equipment, conveyors and purged welded pipework. Careers in the manufacturing of ductwork can also be an option. Segmental bends, square to round, all of which makes excellent use of sheet metal skills during your courses at the college. Career paths for level 3 for fabricator welders include construction projects of all sizes, which can lead to shipbuilding, bridge building, pressurised pipework, and all of the latest locomotive power. On all of the latest locomotive and power stations. Welders help to construct the steel frames for buildings. To support industrial projects like the manufacture of offshore wind farms, hydroelectric power stations, and working in aviation engineering. Oceaneering projects can also be an option, including working on oil rigs, offshore pipelines, which include welding underwater. But before we go into underwater welding, you need to be a pretty decent deep sea diver and be willing to spend a lot of time in decompression facilities. There are also careers in inspection and testing of welds using the latest destructive and non-destructive measuring instruments. You just have to flip the back of your mobile phone off and look at the connections that make your mobile phone function. All connections have been joined using soldering, adhesion and friction. All of these processes classified under the same term, fabrication. For every pathway to fabrication and welding, whether it's restoring your uncle's camper van to dangling over a North Sea oil platform, every welder qualification you need to get you where you want to be is offered by us at the Welding Centre, Crawley College. So whether it's a renewal of your welder codings or an inquiry about coding welder or C-suite packages that the college has to offer, get in contact with our admin team at Crawley College. Travel the world with a coded welder qualification from Crawley College. The training centre consists of 3 large workshops along with a study area for all coursework requirements. Let's go ahead with a quick tour of our workshops. The first workshop is the MMA TIG welding workshop. The MMA TIG workshop comprises of 17 fully functioning dual-purpose welding bays housing the latest welding units, extraction systems and welding screens to protect bystanders. As a provider, it is our aim to offer all students a recognised industrial welding qualification to suit individual needs. As we pass through, you can see examples of popular, well, there's 2 racks there, more curtains, more bays, and we can see an example of popular coded welder qualifications. All level 2 and 3 coded welder qualifications have to be destructively tested using a range of in-house testing techniques. Passing through the workshop and looking at the bays, you will see a selection of welding units, all of which are industry standard. Trade names include Miller Dynasty, Murex and Kempe. The next workshop is the MIG, MAG, flux core and oxyacetylene welding. There are 16 fully functioning dual-purpose welding bays here. Here are some oxyacetylene welding and brazing exercises done by previous students. All MIG-MAG bays are dual-purpose and compatible for the flux core welding process. As you can see, all welding bays are brightly lit and fitted with fixtures for holding work and weld seams, both vertical and overhead. Here we have a display of MIG-MAG practical weld tasks with their coursework documentation. Here are some fabrication examples that have been taken from the Skill Weld Nationals competition that takes place at the NEC Birmingham every year. We hold regional Skill Weld heats here at the Welding Centre every year for students to compete in. The final workshop is the sheet metal fabrication workshop. You can see items of machinery for cutting and folding steel, a large area with plenty of space for students to work. Here is a selection of practical tasks produced by Level 1 City and Guilds engineering students. As we move on, Level 2 practical tasks, making excellent use of all the machinery we have in the workshop. And finally, here's a selection of practical tasks produced by Level 3 City and Guilds students, including a cylindrical branch, a pressure-tested cylindrical vessel, and a range varieties of circular and rectangular ducting exercises. Just before we leave, I'd like to mention we have our own metrology section where students can carry out very accurate measuring and marking out of linear distances on metallic material. Of course, health and safety is extremely important and we conform to the highest standards on all workshops. Thank you very much, and that's the end of the talk.
Thank you, Jono, and thank you, Claire. That was absolutely amazing. So much to see. But before we go on to any questions, I want to give you a bit more of an idea of what a full-time programme looks like if you come to Crawley College. Not only do you do your motor vehicle or your welding course, you will also have English and Maths alongside that. If you haven't already gained a grade 4 in any of these subjects, that'll be part of your study programme. We also have an ACES programme that you have your own personal tutor, which stands for Attitudes, Choices, Employability and Skills, and you meet with your tutor on a one-to-one basis and in a group on a weekly basis. We also have an excellent student executive and student voice group where you can join them on trips and external activities, anything from playing chess, playing pool in our common room, playing our football or rugby team, and anything really you want to do, they can engage you in that. And obviously we have support for you while you're here at college, whether that be one-to-one support through your tutor. We also have ALS teams who can help you if you have any additional needs, and also our Progression Plus team who will help you progress either to the next level or possibly into university or into a job. So that gives you a very brief overview of what we do alongside our courses. So I'm going to go on to some questions and I'll be passing these over to my team to answer. So bear with me, team. I'm just going to go through them in no particular order. Steve, one for you, or two questions really. Firstly, is there a uniform for motor vehicle? And secondly, what type of cars they get to work on if they're doing a motor vehicle course?
We will be asking you to supply your own uniform, which is overalls and boots, and some goggles that are needed. And also we work on all light vehicles. Yeah, so nothing bigger than light vehicles, although we do have bigger vehicles outside the college vehicles that we can work on.
Are there any examples of the branded vehicles that we use, Steve?
It's predominantly Ford, but we have got Vauxhalls, we've got Renaults, we've got Peugeots, yeah, but predominantly Fords that we work on.
Fantastic, thank you. Claire, can you tell us a little bit more about the work experience involved in motor vehicle and what tools they might need or they're going to use in motor vehicle?
Of course, work experience is something we will try and build into all of the programs. It varies depending on what level of course you come in. So at level 1, the work experience is more about getting used to seeing what goes on in the workshops. So that might be a little bit in-house, it might be more work related than actually going out to the garages. Level 2 and level 3, we try and get you out into the garages for at least a week. It may be a block, it may be 1 day a week, it may be over a half term, to actually see for yourselves exactly what the industry is about. At level 3, if we can make it 2 weeks is fantastic, but trying to get all of you into industry, sometimes we have to take that week. But we do everything we can to make sure you all get some experience out in industry. The other question was tools. No, you don't need to provide any of your own tools. We have fully stocked workshops, we've got fully stocked toolboxes and tool stores. So everything you would possibly need to do all of the jobs, we will provide for you.
Fantastic, thank you, Claire. Jono, another 2 questions for you. One is again about work experience, and I think you can tell us about work experience in welding and if there's an age limit to doing an evening course in welding, please.
Yes, I'll start with the second question. The age limit to start in an evening. The age limit is 16 upwards, and usually the course fee will be provided for that. If you're up to 18 years old, then you'll get the course for free, usually. What was the first question again? Sorry, Joe.
Oh, it was about work experience for welding. Do they get to get on in work experience while they're doing welding?
Yeah, we have contacts on the south, all across the south coast. We have Parker Steel, Barrett Steel. I've got a contact at the Bluebell Railway. Yeah, so I'm trying all the time to not cherry pick students for certain companies, but yeah, just trying to mix it up with them. Okay,
thank you, Jono. I mean, as Claire said, I mean, work experience is part of all our our full-time qualifications, we do our best to help you get a placement, but obviously it does get a little bit difficult in these two trades, to be fair, for the age limits, but we will get you some work experience if we possibly can. A question from a young lady: if I want to do a motor vehicle apprenticeship, should I do a course first or should I go straight into apprenticeship? Claire, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, what we always tell every single student that comes to us for one of our trades is, if you get the opportunity for an apprenticeship, you take it, because to be honest, an apprenticeship will give you the hands-on skills that you can't fully learn at the college. But again, a lot of the garages now are saying they want people with a little bit of experience. So either way, really, it's whatever way you feel comfortable for. We would take you on either as, if you have the industry placement, you could go in as an apprentice. If you don't have the industry placement, then come to us full time and we'll start delivering the theory for you to get you ready.
Fantastic, thank you, Claire. And obviously, Jade, if you want to know a little bit more about apprenticeships, we do have other events that are recorded on our website, so please go there and have a look, and that will help you out. Jono, I've got a quick question for you about English and Maths grades, really, for what they need to get into their level 2 or the level 3 welding, or in fact, could they go straight to level 3, or would they have to start at level 2?
Start at level 2. Start at level 2, Joe. And the person who's asked that question, starts at level 2. You miss out so much if you don't start at level 2 and go straight on to level 3. A lot of the technical terms you will miss out when you get to level 3, and you just think, what does that mean when we're going on? And all the other participants all of the students in the class are nodding away, saying, yes, we understand. Yeah, start at level 2, and we ask for a grade 4, which is the equivalent to a C. Yes, it is.
Yep, indeed. Is that in English and Maths, Jono, or just in one?
English and Maths, grade 4,
Okay.
please, to start at level 2.
Fantastic. And as you're still on the line, Jono, can you tell us a little bit about the PPE they wear in welding, and whether they have to supply that themselves, or is it something that we supply?
The PPE, we supply the eye protection. We actually supply the face protection as well. Yeah, I've got that there. We actually supply the face protection, the latest reactor light visors for students. However, we don't supply overalls and boots. The overalls and boots will need to be supplied by yourself. Steel toe capped footwear, please. Flame retardant overalls. I get into the habit of wearing my steel toe caps all the time, to be honest with you. I've got one now. Yeah, I'll actually live in my steelies. So there you go. Steel toe caps and flame retardant overalls have to be issued by yourselves. Sorry.
No, that's fine, Jono. Thank you for that. I always get told if I go to the workshop without me steel toe caps on. So, yeah, bear that in mind if you're joining us. And just a final question I think we've got here is one to Steve. Is there any trips that they go on if they're doing motor vehicle at all?
Yes, we do have day trips out to like motor racing and stuff, but under the current COVID situation, we haven't got any planned at the moment, but we have arranged trips in the past, yes.
That's brilliant. There's one final question about careers in welding, but I think you've covered that, Jono, to be fair, in your presentation, so that's absolutely fine. I can't see any more questions, so all I can say is thank you again for joining us. I know it's only virtual, but I hope you got a little taste of what we do in our areas, and we look forward to your application and hopefully welcome you next year. There is a very quick question there: do we do motorsport at Crawley? So Claire, do you want to just touch on that one before we leave?
Yep. Yes, we offer motorsport. We're currently running the level 2 motorsport for all of our students. Entry into motorsport is GCSE grade 4 and above in English and Maths, plus 2 others. And the guys get to have a little bit of a play, and hopefully, as Steve said, with things like current climate, if we can get out there, we will get out to Goodwood. We'll take some cars around. You'll have an experience down there at the track and actually see what's involved. So yeah, motorsport is currently on the table for us.
Excellent. Thank you, Claire. And so thank you once again for joining us. There's links on the screen, so if you want to ask us any more questions that you didn't get in tonight, please email us on the email address. Visit our website to see this event again or any other events, or feel free to call us on the phone number. And we hope to welcome you into the college in September. Thank you very much.